Welcome to When Culture Calls, where three worlds have collided. We're bringing girl talk to the main stage while flipping culture on its head with our passionate point of views. You're dialed into deep connections and necessary conversations. Whenever I need someone to call on, I know I got my girls. Hey guys, welcome to When Culture Calls. I'm Khalifa.
I'm Indesha.
And I'm Amara.
And we're back with another episode, another show. Ladies, so I was online in the fields of the good TikTok that y'all put me onto, and I came across a page of a woman who is, I think by career and trade, she's a psychiatrist or psychologist. Anyway, she was going on a Disney trip, and she was the chaperone for seventh and eighth graders, which are middle schoolers. And she kind of made a video about her experience and noticing how sexually charged or how aggressive the seventh and eighth grade girls were approaching and interacting with the seventh and eighth grade boys. Now, she wasn't explicit, so it left a lot for everyone to wonder what maybe they were doing, what their behavior was, because she didn't actually say. So when I seen the video, she basically highlighted that there are girls being raised versus girls that just have to grow up.
So I just spent 3 days chaperoning a trip to Disney for over 100 7th and 8th graders, and I made some real revelations, y'all. Now, of course, we know all kids are not raised the same, but it was blaringly obvious that we need to do better for our little black girls. And yes, this is middle school. This is when you start getting interested in boys. But the way these girls were carrying themselves, I was ashamed for them. Now, mind you, to go on this trip, you have to have good grades and you can't have any behavioral write-ups. So for all intents and purposes, these are good kids. But you can see which children are being raised and which children are just being allowed to grow up. As adults, we can watch reality TV and understand that even though these are real people, it's still scripted. It's not real. These children don't have the brain development to understand that reality TV is not real. So they see that and they emulate that because they feel like that's what a black woman should be. And it is dangerous. Now, y'all know I'm a boy mom, so my interaction with girls this age are minimal. I see them in practice where they're just sitting down talking to me about their emotions, and that's it. But to actually witness them interacting with the boys, it was shameful. Now, I chaperoned a group of 8th grade boys, and the entire time, these boys are worried about what rides they're getting on next. They're worried about hanging out. They're worried about having a good time. But the girls are constantly seeking them out. The girls are the ones who are constantly finding them, want to talk to them. So at one point I asked the boys, I'm like, how many girls are y'all talking to on this trip? And they said, Miss Holyfield, we don't talk to them. They come and talk to us. They said, we just want to get on the rides. We just want to have a good time. But they keep coming to talk to us. And they're like, we don't mind talking to them, but that's not what we're here for. And of course, we understand girls mature faster than boys. So these boys are just here to have fun on roller coasters and Six Flags with their friends. These girls are out here trying to do something else. And I'm like, it seems like they're not being validated enough at home. For some reason, these girls are not being told that their self-worth should not be tied into a man. And that's why they are constantly and aggressively going after these boys. We need to start putting our girls back into etiquette classes so they can learn how to conduct themselves as ladies, so they can learn how to carry themselves with respect. Because them thinking that they're going to be a real housewife or on Love and Hip Hop is destroying our community. Let's make sure that we are displaying the type of behavior that we want them to emulate, because these little girls are lost. And if this is where our future is going, it's going to be very problematic.
I want to bring this question to you guys. When was the first time that you remember wanting validation from a male, a young boy or a boy?
Wanting validation from a boy. I think I would have to say ninth grade. Ninth grade, yeah, because from a very young age, my sister would always talk to me about boys, and she wouldn't talk about them in good ways. So I already knew that looking for validation from a guy it wasn't the way to go. And being very aware of the things that my mother endured when I was younger, for me, I just never really care too much about a validation from a guy. But I would say about ninth grade, that's when you start getting into yourself, kind of knowing who you are, honing your personality. And yeah, so it was about ninth grade.
And Daisha, what about you? When was the first time that you were looking for validation or seeking validation from a boy?
So I would say the first time I think I was seeking validation from a boy was like my junior high school boyfriend. Yeah, I think that would be my first time. And I think it had to be like, one of the holidays was coming up or some shit. I don't know. Like either Valentine's Day or Christmas was coming up. And when you just want your boyfriend to do something and like show that he cares or whatever. And I like went and I got him a little gift. It was like I actually went to King's Plaza in Brooklyn, if anybody's from Brooklyn. And there used to be like this little spot they made keychains. So I made a
Oh,
custom keychain. It
yes.
was a heart, and then I had one half of the heart, and he had one half of the heart, and it was like E and blah blah blah, some crap, right? And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't remember if it was Valentine's. It had to be a mutual holiday because I was so excited to give him this gift, and I like put on a little chain for him, and I was like going to school, and then he didn't give me a gift, and I was just like, I felt really like, damn, like I really wanted you to do something. Like I went out, I was thoughtful, and I wanted to feel as though like, he cared as much as I did. I feel like that was the first time I really saw validation from a guy.
Wow. Well, first of all, you was big. You was big E back then giving gifts. Okay,
This is
big
like seventh
E.
grade. This had to be like seventh grade. It was like
Okay.
$25.
I think I started to seek validation in high school. Although I did have a boyfriend in junior high school, I don't think it was because I was seeking it. I think it was just one of those things. Oh, he likes you. Okay. And then you just fall into it. But when I think to her video, when she's talking about chaperoning seventh to eighth graders and how the girls' behavior was like emulating women like behavior, I just thought like I was not behaving like that in seventh and eighth grade. I was just really trying to be a girl's girl with my friends. We had a group called, I think it was called Baby Unit, because that's when G Unit was out. And we used to call ourselves Baby Unit. We was dressing up, matching. You wear this, I wear that. So I was really heavily focused on like loving that I had friends to even really focus on a boy. But when I got in high school, oh, the boys the boys. And I always loved, Amara, that you had an older sister that was there to share with you transparently, and kind of bring you into her world, because I didn't have that. I know I do have older sisters. I didn't live with them, and no one was ever there to let me know if my behavior was being too aggressive or you doing too much or don't do that. It kind of, I had to figure it out through like me being embarrassed or me falling like things not going right. I had to learn that on my own. I mean, Desha, I know you have an older sister. Like, how was your relationship with her when you were in that early stage? Did she like put you on to what boys do and things like that? No?
We don't talk about boys in my house. We like
Oh,
growing up. She's also 5 years older than me, but
okay.
So
and
is
I
my
feel
sister.
like I don't. We just don't have like a close. Like we talk about things, but it was never like pertaining boys. She'd be like, "Oh, he had a
So,
boyfriend." Like I'll know about it, but not like really tell me about like boys.
so I guess looking back on it, what would you say is a conversation you wish someone had with you at that early stage where you were getting interested in boys, about self worth? Mara?
I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie. I'm
okay.
not gonna lie. In junior high school, I wasn't a hot tail. In high school, I wasn't a hot tail. I don't think that I could have been advised about anything. And I feel like maybe my family probably knew that I wasn't that girl where they had to worry
Mhm.
about it and sit down and talk to me about it. So I haven't had no like crazy experiences when it comes to like boys in that younger age. I was really a late bloomer. My life lessons came at about 25 past. So yeah.
Okay. But what about, okay, so not necessarily I guess centering a boy, but what about like that conversation you wish someone had up with you about self-worth? When you say you a late bloomer, was it because you were introverted, you felt out of place? Uh, did
God
you
no.
No,
Definitely wasn't
okay, good.
introverted. I was a late
Okay.
bloomer when it comes to like when I started having sex. I was like
Mhm.
way later
Mhm.
than other people that I know, like
Mm-hmm.
just like even having like relationships and things like that. Like I was just boys, like I liked them, but it wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like sexually charged or driven at a
Right.
really, really young age.
Right.
So, but as far as like self-worth, this might sound like I'm lying, but I really don't feel like I had those issues
Mm-hmm.
until like the later part, like in my 20s, to be honest, which is
Mm.
kind of crazy. I felt like there was a level of confidence that I had. And then like once you actually get into a real relationship, like
Mm-hmm.
those things can start to waver. But I didn't have
Right.
that in like my head at a young age.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Amaro, what about you? What is the one conversation, if you could go back to your childhood, that you wish or would like someone to have had with you about self-worth?
In junior high school, I think I wasn't focused on boys. I did have a summer boyfriend in I think when I was in like 8th grade going to the 9th grade. And that was like my puppy love. Like Shawty got puppy love. But we were not sexually active. So I
Yeah,
wasn't
for sure.
like or sexually active in junior high school or doing any of that stuff. But yeah, in junior high school I think it probably would be to just really have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think I was really focused on boys. So as far as self-worth, it would be to just have fun and do the things that make you feel good. I think
Yeah.
I didn't start doing that stuff until a little bit later on, and more so like in high school. But doing things that made me feel good. I feel like at that time a lot was going on in my household, and I don't know if I necessarily seen an image of what I thought like self love looks like. It was just a lot going on, so it
Mm-hmm.
would really be to just do things that made me feel good. Mm-hmm.
When I was thinking about this question and I was watching that video, although I know we keep prefacing it with the idea that we were not like sexually charged and we were not seeking boys' validation, which kind of made me realize like there's a gap between childhood and then like now the adulthood. I feel like the girls now don't have those tween young years that we had. Like we had the opportunity to literally want to dress up as our friends and want to just do the silliest things with our homegirls that we were not really checking for boys. And so I would say that similar to you, Amara, what I would love someone to have told me about self-love was kind of like enjoy what it like help me discover my talent. I feel like back in my junior high school days, no one was pouring into me. Like I was not one of those kids that did extracurricular. And I think it was more so because I was raised by my grandparents. They weren't really like I guess they were out of touch with that aspect. But I would have loved my big sister to come and be like, "Hey, this program is happening. Do you want to do it? Hey, this opportunity is for girls your age. Do you want to do it?" Nobody was putting me on. I literally had to watch the TV and get informed about culture, about everything. Like girlfriends taught me at seventh and eighth grade, I was learning from girlfriends on TV. So I think like now, thank God that we have more better representation. That girlfriends was teaching me a few things, even though they were adults, because now the girls don't have good representation on TV. So they're emulating possibly what they're seeing in these adult TV shows like a Love and Hip Hop, in really derogatory kind of TV shows, and they're emulating that. So for you to be on a seventh grade trip, eighth grade trip, and you are so repulsed by a behavior of a bunch of seventh and eighth graders, it lets me know like somewhere along the line, like we just like dropped the ball. But for me, like I said, if someone could tell me anything about self love back in the days, it would be to like love the brilliance within me, find the brilliance within me, pursue that brilliance. And because even like when we get older, we always want the guy to find us doing what we're doing because they're supposed to seek us. So if you're in the environment that you want to be in, you probably would align with a dude that is worthy of you because you're doing the thing that makes you brilliant.
I do want to say, because I was thinking, like, I have an 11-year-old niece that's about to be 12, and the things that I tell her now, um, I make sure that I affirm her every day, as because she lives downstairs. So I make sure that I affirm her all the time. Anytime I hear her self-sabotaging, talking about her hair or talking about her acne or how she dresses, I make sure that I affirm her. You are cool. You are this. You are smart. You are beautiful. Like that is the one thing I do wish I had. Someone to affirm me in every way, shape, or form. And I think that is the age when you start looking at yourself in the mirror and you start deprecating, like you start sabotaging and finding a whole bunch of flaws about yourself. And it's like, I had to tell her last week, like, please, I just want you to enjoy the moment, please. Like, just live. Find everything that makes you happy and do that. Like, you're gonna have time to grow up and worry. Right now, you don't have to worry. Just literally enjoy the moment. So affirming. I wish I would have had someone to affirm me.
I think that at seventh and eighth grade, you start to like look outside of yourself. So if someone, like I said, was there to like, I guess, let me know that I could be the leader that I really wanted to be and that I don't have to follow any path that's being presented in front of me. I just think like those conversations would be so helpful as I went into ninth grade because like you said, I wasn't checking for dudes in sixth grade, but ninth grade, woo, came and slapped me. All right, so we're back with topic 2, and we got a viewer request to review and give commentary on a video. So shout out to Leslie.
Hey,
Leslie sent me this video
Okay.
and
Hey,
said,
Leslie.
"Hey."
Hey, girl.
She said that she wanted to know what we thought about it, and so we're gonna play the clip right now.
If you had a friend who confessed to you that she didn't have the capacity to be happy for you and that even though she loved you, being around you was painful and she was jealous of what you had, would you keep her around because you were impressed by her honesty? Or would you recognize that a snake that you ate will always still bite you in the hand and let her go?
There's a way to reward honesty, yes, but there's a way to accept someone being honest and realizing how there's absolutely nothing you can do to change that person no matter how much you love them. Now that I know this, would this fulfill me to maintain this relationship moving forward?
Everyone that you show up for as a friend is not your friend.
Oh, just drag me, okay?
Everybody
I
that
was a
you
guest.
show up, when we talk about envy and we talk about jealousy, 9 times out of 10, the older we get, the less material it is. I know we think it's material.
Ooh,
the less
those
material
bars.
it is.
That's bars.
The older we get, the more the envy and the jealousy is around the way people love you, the
Your
way
spirit.
people celebrate you, the way people choose to show up for you, worthy of it or not. If people are enveloping you in love and support constantly, that is enough for somebody on the outside to be jealous of that.
So I want to know, ladies, have you ever been told by a friend that they are jealous of you? And if so, how did you handle it? And it could be a friend, family, or even a coworker, someone in just your personal everyday life that has told you like, I'm jealous of you, and it's hard for me to, be in your life or sit by and watch you because I'm jealous. Has that ever happened to you?
Not directly like that. I feel like people have shared things and I'm just like, where is this coming from? Like, but no one has came to me and told me that they were jealous of me. No.
So if someone did hypothetically come to you and say, Indesha, yeah, I know you're my friend, but I'm jealous of you and all of the things that you have going on, how would you navigate that conversation? Are they still your friend afterwards, or are you ending the friendship based on that confession?
I feel like it would probably depend on what they're jealous of. Like, is it my job? Is it my relationship? Is it how other people receive me? Is it my hair? I don't know. Like, I'm just like, it depends on what it is. And I would try to figure out like what's the root of it. And I would also
Mm,
try to assess if like she has treated me like negatively, like probably in past, situations, and probably tie it into like, oh, this is why she does that, or this is why she treats me like this sometimes. But if it's something that she's expressing, but she hasn't negatively like impacted me in the past before that, I don't think that I
mhm,
would cut her off as a friend. I would
mm,
probably, you know, try to let her know to go ahead and figure out what it is that she needs to like, pour into herself about, or like, how can I assist you with whatever area that you are feeling insecure in. I wouldn't write her off. It depends on how she treats me. If she was treating me like she has attitude sometimes, or she's being dismissive, she doesn't invite me places, things like that, I'm like, oh, okay, well, now it's probably happening one too many times, and this is why I would feel a way about it. But if that's not the case and it's only been internal and it's not really showing, then I don't think that I would just dismiss her as a friend.
Amara, has that ever happened to you?
Unfortunately, yes, it has happened to me. Not with a friend, family member. Um, and we're not close. We don't talk. And it's not a good feeling at all. Even thinking about it, it makes me emotional, but it's not a good feeling. I think that for me, because I've experienced it, no, I couldn't be friends with a person who tells me that they're jealous of me. They don't have the capacity to be around me. And being around me is, I know, they don't, because she said she don't have the capacity to be happy for her.
Yes.
So if you don't have the capacity to be happy for me and you're my friend, that means that around me is just going to be a feeling of dejection all the time. I'm not putting up with that. That's one. And then she says that being around her is painful. We all experience pain as human beings. And I know when I'm experiencing pain, I don't want to feel pain. I don't want pain. I want to get rid of pain. So if being around me makes you feel pain, in my mind, I'm crazy. I'm sorry. I don't watch a whole bunch of Lifetime movies. Like, in my mind, if being around me makes you feel pain, I'm gonna think that you out to kill me one day. Like, you gonna kill me. So I like, to be honest, like I can't be friends with you. And then not only that, but I believe that jealousy is a form. Well, it is resentment. It's resentment of whatever aspect she's resenting. But why? But it doesn't have to be that. It could be admiration, because really jealousy is overt admiration. Like, you could, especially if this person is close to you, this is the plug. I got two phones, one for the plug and one for the load. You can ask this person whatever you want. Like, how did you get the job? How are you so successful in business? What is it that you're doing in your relationship? You have access to retrieve the information you need to evolve. But to be jealous, to resent me, no. To tell me being around me is painful, to tell me you don't have the capacity to be happy for me, how could we be friends? How could I sit down and trust that my happiness and the things that are happening in my life is going to be, I can express that to you? I can't. And if I can't express my happiness to you, that means that the only time I should be calling you is when I'm going through something negative. No, I cannot be friends with you. And that's one of the reasons why I cut that person off in my life, because I felt like literally nothing had changed. The reason why it came up was because I finally moved out. I was living with my boyfriend, and then I was told, like, oh, I'm jealous of you. And mind you, the things that I was doing at 28, because that's when I moved out at 28, this person had already did it early in their year. So I'm like, you're jealous of me doing something that you already did? I'm confused. And then my mind started telling me, no, this person is jealous of you because you are no longer, like, you're leveling up. So when they say they're happy for you only when you're not doing better than them, that was exactly what I felt. And I was like, nah, I mean, I love you, and I still love the person, like, but I always think about that. Could I ever have you in my life again? Because I don't know if I'm really ever going to be able to trust you. Deep down inside, you may always have these feelings towards me, and it's uncomfortable. I don't want to be like that.
Yeah, I think that jealousy is, when I looked even like just at the word, it mentioned like something about a rivalry. And I think that that gets you, just thinking about that, it gets you out of alignment. So if I know that something that's happening in my life, whether it's just who I am, whether it's what I have, whether it's what I aspire to do, and you are battling with it, I think that we don't even have a place with each other at that moment, because you need to worry less about who I am and what I'm doing.
Don't watch me, watch TV.
You need to shift the mirror to yourself and start to dig and do that internal work that you mentioned, Indesha, that and you also mentioned like you probably try to help the person, or like, I guess, like, not in the relationship, but it's a job that you and the higher power have to have. It's nothing, because up until that point you've done nothing, and yet we're here. I've done nothing to you but exist and be in my excellence or be in my journey, and that offends you. I think that I would respect that someone had the audacity and I guess like the awareness to know that that's the feelings that they're in, but I don't have to accept it and welcome you in my life anymore. Like there are going to be people that are in your life when you're going through this, and like you said, they thrive on that. Like the drama. Oh, so she's not in drama anymore. She's leveling up. She's doing this, and now they don't even know how to identify with you. They don't even have that similarity. They don't even have that kinship with you anymore. Where it's just like, yo, we're here with each other. So I would have to literally stop the friendship because the lack of support is fine. You don't expect all of your friends to be with or family or whomever to be with you hands on 100%, but it wouldn't even be that you're not supporting. It would be the energy that you can't even hide that energy. So I know you said like maybe if she wasn't like overt with it and you weren't able to piece together. And I think that's the scariest type of jealousy, the fact that you've been around and you've hid this for so long. Now I'm starting to think lifetime. I'm starting to think you might be up to something. And it always brings me back to Selena when the head of her fan department what killed her, murdered her, whatever. I think that I really don't think I've ever been jealous of anyone or anything. I've always been inspired. Like, yo, I see that it's possible. Yo, I see that she went through so much and this is where she's at. And I actually have in my early, it's so funny because I was going through my email the other day and I went down to like 2011, 2012. And I was finding new taste emails in my email, but I also found this email that I responded to someone who I considered to be like family, even though we were not blood related. I literally was with her. I was like, she was older, like good 5 years older than me. And I was supporting her emotionally. I was physically coming out. You want to go here? You want to go there? I was giving my all. And then one day she told me, you do this for this person, but you don't do that as much for me and this. And it had children involved at that time. And I wrote in the email, I wrote this long, I read her rights. I read her rights. I was like, you sound like a hater. Like I cannot be around someone, and I wasn't calling her a hater, but you are really sounding like a hater to just even compare in these type of ways. So like in the video said, like I'm jealous of you that it hurts me and all of this. It's like get your life. Respectfully, in the most God way I can say it, get your life, get a handle on it and isolate because you can't be healthy and happy as a person putting off that energy amongst other people. So viewers and listeners, if you have people in your life who you feel may be jealous of you, or you feel like their actions are very indicative, sometimes you don't even have to say it. It's just a vibe. Like I already know, I already peep game. And I think that discernment that I kind of talked about last week, or whenever we talked about it, I think discernment is helpful to navigate those that quiet jealousy that comes and rears its ugly head sometimes. So, Leslie, thank you so much for suggesting this video for our commentary. If there's anything that you guys want us to talk about, if there's anything that you want our opinions on, send us a DM on When Culture Calls, and we will definitely consider it and bring it to the main stage. I'm Khalifa.
I'm Indesha.
And I'm Amara.
We'll see you next week for another episode. Bye.